So, you've put in the work. You've seen the number on the scale finally go down. But have you ever really stopped and thought about it? Where did that fat actually go? The answer is way more fascinating than you'd think, and today we're diving deep into the real science of what's happening inside our bodies when we lose fat. I mean, it's a real puzzle, right? Fat has mass. It's a physical thing. So, basic physics tells us it has to go somewhere. Does it just melt away as heat? Does it magically turn into muscle? Or, and this is a wild thought, does some of it literally just vanish into thin air? Well, that is the exact question we're going to answer today, and the science is pretty surprising. All right, so to crack this case, we have to start by properly introducing the main character of our story, body fat itself. And you're about to see, it's not the simple villain it's always made out to be. Okay, so this is the first big aha moment. Body fat, or adipose tissue, isn't just some passive blob of stored energy. No way. It's an active dynamic organ. It's cushioning your vital organs, it's keeping you warm, and get this, it's actually producing critical hormones that talk to the rest of your body. It's a key player in your overall health.
And it gets even more interesting because not all fat is the same. Most of what we think of as body fat is white fat. That's the body's energy saver. Its job is to pack away fuel for later. But we also have this other kind, brown fat. It's loaded with mitochondria, the little power plants inside our cells, and its job is the complete opposite. It's an energy spender, designed to burn fuel to generate heat.
And where you store your fat really matters too. Fat that's packed around your internal organs, that's called visceral fat, gives you more of an apple shape and is linked to higher metabolic health risks. On the flip side, the pear shape comes from having more subcutaneous fat, which is the stuff right under your skin. That's generally tied to different kinds of issues, more mechanical ones. So we know what fat is and the different kinds of neighborhoods it lives in, but how did it even get there? Well, that brings us to the process of storage, a process called lipogenesis. Our bodies are just these incredible survival machines. When we take in more fuel, more energy than we need at that exact moment, the liver jumps into action. It converts that extra energy into these little molecules called triglycerides. It then packages them up and ships them out into the bloodstream to our fat cells. Those cells then just soak up the triglycerides and expand, storing all that energy like tiny, flexible batteries for whenever we might need it down the road. Okay, so the batteries are all charged up. We get how the energy gets stored. Now for the million-dollar question. How do we get it out? This right here is the heart of our story, the process of burning fat. This is a big one. It's a really, really common misconception. When you see that number on the scale go down, what is actually physically happening to your fat cells? Do they just poof, go away? And here it is, one of the most mind-blowing truths about fat loss. The fat cells themselves don't disappear. The number of fat cells you have pretty much stays the same your entire adult life. When you lose weight, you're not destroying them. You are simply emptying them out, causing them to shrink. This is also why it can feel easier to regain weight. The storage containers are still there, just waiting to be filled back up. So this process of releasing stored fat is called lipolysis. Basically, when your body needs energy, say during exercise, hormones like adrenaline send a signal to your fat cells. It's like a little text message saying, hey, release the fuel. The cells then break down those stored triglycerides and release them into the bloodstream as fatty acids. From there, they travel to your muscles and other tissues to get burned for energy inside those mitochondria. Okay, so now we know the mechanism. You release the fat, then you burn it. And that brings up a pretty obvious question. Can we influence this process with what we eat? Let's take a quick look at the role of different foods and even supplements. That old idea that all fat in your diet is bad is just a huge oversimplification. Turns out, unsaturated fats, the good ones from things like avocados and nuts, are actually essential and can help your cholesterol. On the other end of the spectrum, you've got trans fats, the ugly, which do the exact opposite and are definitely best avoided. Now let's just touch on supplements for a second. One really popular category is thermogenics. The idea here is to slightly raise your body heat to kick your metabolism up a notch. Caffeine is the classic example. It can help stimulate your nervous system to send out more of those release the fuel signals to your fat cells. It basically gives that first step, lipolysis, a little nudge. So, if thermogenics help with step 1, releasing the fat, then metabolism boosters like green tea extract are all about step 2. They aim to encourage your body to actually burn more of that fuel that's now floating around in your bloodstream. And then you've got a totally different approach, fat binders. Instead of messing with the whole release and burn cycle, these work in your gut. They try to grab onto the fat from your food and prevent it from ever being absorbed and stored in the first place. Okay, but, and this is a really, really big but, it is absolutely vital to hear this direct warning from the research. This entire category of supplements comes with a massive warning label. They are not regulated like medicine and can carry some really serious risks and side effects. The source material is crystal clear. You have to approach these with extreme caution. So, after digging into the biology and taking a peek at the world of supplements, what's the big picture here? How do we put all of this science together into something that actually makes sense?
Well, when you look at all the science, it becomes pretty clear that turning your body into an efficient fat-burning machine isn't about some single shortcut or magic pill. It's a holistic blueprint. It's about creating an energy demand through regular exercise, fueling up with nutrient-dense foods, avoiding things that can mess with your metabolism, and of course, always talking to a doctor before you make any big changes. And this brings us right back to the incredible untapped potential that's already inside our own bodies. Remember that energy spender brown fat we talked about at the beginning? Well, research has shown that when that stuff is activated, it can jack up our metabolic rate by up to 1.8 times. That is a huge boost, and it's powered entirely by our own biology, not some pill from a bottle. And that just leaves us with this one fascinating final thought. What if the future of healthy weight management isn't about finding a new supplement, but about learning how to safely switch on these powerful fat-burning systems we're all born with? I mean, think about it. Unlocking that potential could change absolutely everything. It's a pretty powerful idea to chew on.